Now that's an episode. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video and another week of Star Wars The Bad Batch. It's time to talk about episode 8, simply titled Reunion. I'll go ahead and start this off by saying I absolutely love this episode, and it may be my second favorite episode after the actual premiere of the series. We're going to be getting straight into spoilers, so that is your spoiler warning, so let's do this. As I just mentioned, love the episode. In last week's episode, we saw them at the very end being spotted by the Scrappers Guild on Bracca. I didn't mention it in last week's episode, I forgot to, but Bracca is the same planet that we were introduced to Cal Kestis in Jedi Fallen Order. So a lot of people over the course of the last week have been speculating that maybe we'd see Cal Kestis in this show. Now, I didn't really think that was going to happen, and it did not happen. So, as this episode progressed, we have the Bad Batch trying to kind of use their situation to their advantage by doing what the Scrappers Guild does and, kind of looking for parts, looking for weapons, and trying to sell this stuff. So as they're doing that, the Empire shows up. We see that Crosshair and this group of clones and Imperial troopers have come to get the Bad Batch and to bring them back. In the meantime, we know that the Kaminoans, specifically the Prime Minister, Lama Su, he's pretty much like, listen, this is our chance to try to do our contingency plan. We need to get this young clone back, obviously referring to Omega. So then once Crosshair comes across the Bad Batch, it turns into this all-out action hide-and-seek episode, and I really enjoyed all of that. I've been dying to see them get back to what's happening with the Empire and Crosshair, so it was great to see all that going on. So yeah, overall, really thoroughly enjoyed the episode, really enjoyed the action, some of the best animation in the series thus far. I feel like the animation is getting better and better, but overall, just in terms of Star Wars animation, the last season of the Clone Wars and this has just been top notch, and arguably this one is better, obviously, since it's newer. And I really enjoy the lighting effects and the animation. Once again, the voiceover work is phenomenal. You have Dee Bradley Baker playing all these clones so well, giving them all such unique personalities, and overall just thoroughly enjoying the voice acting, the animation, and all the technical elements that make this show tick. And overall, really enjoyed the narrative here and what was happening. There was a lot of tense moments, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more happen with Crosshair and the Bad Batch. It's clear that he's gonna be redeemed at some point. Hopefully they'll get that inhibitor chip out of his head, but I am very curious to see how that ends up happening. But the big reveal at the end of the episode was as they were escaping after tons of action and tons of great moments, we get Hunter and Omega coming upon their ship, the Marauder, to find a bunch of dead clones, or at least incapacitated clones. My guess is they're dead, because moments later we hear a very familiar voice, and that is the bounty hunter Cad Bane, who was absolutely famous from the Clone Wars, as well as his little droid companion Toto 360. So yeah, overall, really enjoyed this episode. Crazy to see Cad Bane there. At the end of the episode, we see that Hunter and him are going to go through a little bit of a standoff. They're going to have that traditional Western standoff, and Cad Bane wins and ends up using his blaster on stun, takes Omega. Now the Bad Batch have to figure out how to work together to go and find Cad Bane in order to save Omega, and it's clear that there's somebody hiring these various bounty hunters, both with Fennec Shand a few episodes ago and now with Cad Bane, that they want them to obviously get Omega, and in this case Cad Bane did. So I'm curious, is it the Kaminoans who are sending these people out? My assumption is that is who it is, that it's Lama Su sending out individuals to go and actually capture Omega. It seems like she's definitely part of their whole contingency plan. Very curious to see what it is that make Omega unique. That's the whole thing about all of these Bad Batch clones, is that they're all different in their own way, and they have one specific trait that's kind of like a superpower in a lot of ways, and Omega is similar to them, but we don't know what hers is just yet, what her unique trait is. So very curious to see what ends up happening there. Loving the animation, loving the voiceover, loving the action, loving these characters, loving the relationship, and I'm also loving how the Bad Batch treats Omega like a true part of the squad. In previous shows like the Clone Wars and Rebels, you've had Ahsoka and Ezra, who for sure definitely went and kind of took things into their own hands eventually and became the heroes of the story, but for a lot of time we're kind of treated like kids, and I love that for the most part not too long into the show, the Bad Batch kind of accept her as part of the Bad Batch, and they don't treat her any differently. They treat her as part of the squad, so she gets to be a part of all this action, and I'm really enjoying Omega as a character. I think they did a really great job with the character over the course of the show, and yeah, I'm very curious to see how Cad Bane and all this kind of fits in, what other bounty hunters are involved, you know, who is it that's hiring them? Is it the Kaminoans? Is it Lama Su? Is it the Empire? Who knows? Definitely want to see what's happening. We also see that Crosshair ends up getting pretty severely wounded in this episode, so I am very curious to see how that plays into things. But yeah, overall, love the episode. Going to try to keep this short and sweet. It is currently 5:08 in the morning, and I just finished watching this episode of The Bad Batch, as well as the new Disney Pixar film, Luca, which the review for that should be going up at about the exact same time as this. So if you guys just watched this and you want to see the review for Luca, go check that out. But gonna wrap up my video here. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave your comments if you enjoyed this episode. If you didn't enjoy this episode, let me know what you thought about it. Are you guys curious to see how Cad Bane plays into this? And who do you think is hiring these bounty hunters? I feel like the obvious answer is the Kaminoans, but who knows? So definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. Hit that like button, comment your thoughts, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.